The tuna oven incident. On the morning of October 11th, 2012, 62-year-old Jose Milena began his usual shift at the Bumblebee Foods plant in Santa Fe Springs, California. He had worked there for years and knew the routine. The factory was huge, filled with the constant noise of machines, forklifts moving boxes, pallets of canned tuna, and long lines of metal equipment. At the core of operation were the ovens, giant industrial pressure cookers that could hold thousands of cans at a time. Each one stretched over 30 feet long, with a thick steel door that locked tightly before heat and steam filled the chamber. Just before 5 a.m., Milena started loading carts of tuna into one of the ovens. The carts rolled on metal tracks, pushed one after another inside. Once full, the door would close, and the cooking cycle would begin, heating to more than 270 Foftifets under heavy steam pressure. It was a routine Milena had done countless times before. At some point, he stepped inside the oven to check the carts. No one saw him go in. The floor was loud and busy, full of workers and machines. A co-worker, unaware Milena was still inside, sealed the heavy door. With one push of a button, the cooking cycle began. Steam rushed through the pipes as the temperature began to rise. Milena was trapped. Once the process started, the oven couldn't be opened until the full cycle was over. Inside, the heat and pressure grew higher and higher. For the next 2 hours, the factory ran as usual, forklifts moving, machines running, and other ovens cycling through their loads. No one noticed Milena was gone. Hours later, when he didn't show up for his next task, co-workers searched the break room, restrooms, and parking lot, but there was no sign of him. When the 2-hour cycle ended, workers opened the oven to unload the tuna. What they found inside left the entire plant in shock. Jose had been inside the chamber the whole time. Investigators later put it plainly. A man had been cooked to death in an oven meant for fish. It became one of the most horrifying workplace accidents in California's history, a normal morning that ended in an unthinkable tragedy. The burrito grinder incident. On the night of July 13, 2025, the frozen food factory of Tuna's Burritos in Vernon, California, was winding down. The night shift was nearly over. Machines hummed softly as workers finished their duties, while the cleaning crew began their nightly routine, washing and sanitizing equipment for the next day's production. Among them was 19-year-old Brian Neftali, a new sanitation worker hired through a staffing agency. He was young, hard-working, and determined to help his family while building a better future. Around 8 p.m., Brian began cleaning one of the plant's massive industrial meat grinders, a heavy-duty machine used to process hundreds of pounds of meat for frozen burritos. Its rotating steel blades were powerful enough to tear through anything that entered. Just before 9:30 p.m., something went horribly wrong. While Brian leaned inside the grinder to clean it, the machine suddenly powered on. The steel augers began to spin, and within seconds he was pulled inside. Co-workers nearby heard his screams and ran toward the machine. They slammed the emergency stop buttons, but they failed to respond. Panic spread across the factory floor. Someone called 911, but help came too late. Emergency crews worked for nearly 45 minutes, carefully dismantling the grinder piece by piece to reach him. When they finally did, the sight was devastating. Several workers broke down in shock and disbelief. Investigators later discovered that the grinder hadn't been fully shut down before cleaning began, a critical safety failure that led to the unthinkable. Brian's death sent shockwaves through the community. A teenager, just starting his adult life, lost it inside a machine meant to process food, not people. What began as a normal cleaning shift ended in one of California's most horrifying industrial tragedies. The Gainesville nitrogen leak incident. On the morning of January 28, 2021, workers arrived for their shift at the Foundation Food Group poultry plant in Gainesville, Georgia. The factory was large, cold, and noisy, filled with moving belts carrying thousands of pounds of chicken and machines humming across the floor. It was just another day in the poultry capital of the world. Around 10 a.m., something went terribly wrong in line 4, the section where chicken was chilled using liquid nitrogen. Inside one of the freezers, a small bent steel tube malfunctioned, allowing nitrogen gas to escape into the air. The gas was colorless, odorless, and deadly. Within seconds, it began pushing oxygen out of the room. 3 maintenance workers went in to check the problem. Almost immediately, they collapsed. Seeing this, nearby co-workers rushed in to help, unaware that the air itself had turned toxic. 2 more went down moments later, gasping for breath that wasn't there. By the time emergency crews arrived, the scene was chaotic. Some workers lay motionless on the concrete floor, while others stumbled out of the building, coughing and fainting. 5 people died at the scene, and a 6th passed away later at the hospital. More than a dozen others were injured, including a firefighter who had tried to rescue them. Investigators later called it a completely preventable tragedy. The plant had no oxygen monitors, no gas alarms, and no emergency drills. Most workers had never been trained about the dangers of nitrogen. Even worse, the factory's safety manager position had been vacant for over a year. The victims were mostly immigrant workers, part of the labor force that keeps the poultry industry running in Gainesville. The companies involved were fined nearly $1 million and cited for dozens of serious violations. Afterward, the plant was sold to another company, which spent millions improving safety and removing nitrogen systems altogether. The Foundation Food Group incident stands as one of the worst industrial disasters in recent U.S. history. It revealed how a simple equipment fault, combined with poor safety practices, can cost lives in a matter of minutes. The cereal plant oven incident. On June 26, 2025, inside the Gilster Mary Lee cereal plant in Perryville, Missouri, a normal afternoon suddenly turned into tragedy. The factory was loud with the roar of machinery, the rattle of belts, and the warm smell of baked grains filling the air. Workers moved quickly through their shifts. 38-year-old Nicholas Lopez Gomez had been assigned to clean a large industrial cereal oven, a task he had done many times before. But that day, something went terribly wrong. At some point during the afternoon, co-workers noticed Nicholas hadn't been seen for a while. His tools were still lying near the oven, and the area around it was unusually quiet. Concern turned into alarm as minutes stretched into hours. Around 3 p.m., someone finally called 911, reporting that a worker might be trapped inside an oven that had been shut down for maintenance. Emergency responders arrived quickly and began searching the massive metal chamber. When they finally opened it, the scene was heartbreaking. Nicholas was found deep inside the oven, unresponsive. The oven wasn't running or hot, but investigators later said he may have run out of oxygen while working in the confined space, alone and unnoticed. The company confirmed that the oven was out of service, but couldn't explain why Nicholas was inside or why he had been working without supervision. Nicholas had worked at the plant for 9 years. His death left coworkers and the community in shock, a reminder of how even a routine job can turn deadly in moments of silence. The Mar-Jac Poultry Incident. On the night of July 14, 2023, the Mar-Jac poultry plant in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, was coming alive with its night shift. Machines roared, water sprayed across the floor, and the smell of disinfectant filled the air as cleaning crews began their work. It was routine work. Among the workers that night was 16-year-old Duvon Robert Tomas Perez, a quiet, determined teenager from Guatemala. Though still in school, Duvon worked nights to support his family. He was part of the sanitation crew, responsible for washing down the equipment in the deboning area where thousands of chickens were processed each day. For Duvon, it was just another night on the job. He moved between machines with his cleaning hose, wiping away the day's residue. One of his tasks was to clean the massive deboning unit, a machine fitted with powerful gears and chains designed to separate the meat at high speed. Around 8 p.m., something went terribly wrong. While cleaning, Duvon's hand became caught in the moving parts. In seconds, he was pulled inside. Co-workers nearby heard him scream twice, "Help!" and then silence. They ran to shut down the machine, but it was too late. When emergency crews arrived, the scene was heartbreaking. Duvon was already gone. The coroner later confirmed that the machine should have been completely shut down before cleaning began, but it wasn't. A failure in the plant's lockout procedures meant the machinery was still active and dangerous. What made the tragedy even more devastating was Duvon's age. Federal law strictly forbids anyone under 18 from working in meat or poultry processing. But Duvon had been hired through a staffing agency using the identity of a 32-year-old man. Weak verification checks and the plant's reliance on contract labor had allowed him to slip through the system. Following his death, OSHA issued 17 citations and proposed more than $200,000 in fines. The Department of Labor also launched a child labor investigation, later fining the company $385,000 for employing minors across multiple facilities. The Mar-Jac poultry incident exposed deep flaws in the system, where a teenager could lose his life doing a job he was never meant to have. The chocolate factory incident. On March 24, 2023, a normal Friday afternoon unfolded at the R.M. Palmer Chocolate Factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania. Workers on the day shift were finishing up for the weekend, packaging the company's famous Easter chocolates. Around 4:30 p.m., several employees noticed a strong smell of gas inside Building 2. They reported it to supervisors, but no evacuation order came. Instead, workers were told to stay put while management looked into it. Minutes later, at 4:57 p.m., the unthinkable happened. A massive explosion ripped through the building. The blast so powerful it flattened the structure, shattered windows for blocks, and sent flames rising 40 feet into the air. The ground shook like an earthquake. People miles away heard the blast. Inside, chaos erupted. Floors collapsed, walls caved in, and machinery was thrown across the room. Dozens were trapped beneath debris and burning metal. One survivor, Patricia Borges, recalled being thrown into a vat of molten chocolate when the floor gave way. Covered in burns, she crawled into a small pocket of the basement, where she lay in cold water for 9 hours before rescuers finally found her alive. But for 7 of her co-workers, there was no escape. They were later identified as Mika Munez, Susan Halvonic, Michael Breedy, Diana Cedeno, Judith Lopez Morin, Amy Sando, and Domingo Cruz, longtime employees who never made it home that night. When investigators arrived, what they found beneath the rubble was horrifying, not just the destruction, but the reason behind it. The National Transportation Safety Board discovered a cracked underground gas fitting installed back in the early 1980s. Over the years, it had slowly weakened. When heat from a nearby corroded steam pipe made it worse, natural gas began leaking right under the building. That gas had silently filled the basement until a spark. In the aftermath, OSHA cited R.M. Palmer for multiple safety failures, including the failure to evacuate employees after reports of a gas odor. The company was fined $49,000 following the tragedy that claimed 7 lives, the Washburn Mill incident. On the night of May 2, 1878, workers at the Washburn Mill in Minneapolis, Minnesota, began their night shift. The mill was alive with sound as heavy machinery ground grain, belts moved, and gears turned non-stop. The air inside was thick with flour dust, floating like fog. To the workers, it was just another normal night. The Washburn Mill was the largest flour mill in the world, powered by the Mississippi River. It stood as the pride of the city, a symbol of progress. But that night, deep inside the mill, the grinding stones began to overheat. Somewhere in the machinery, 2 stones ran dry, and metal scraped against metal. Then came a tiny spark, barely visible, but powerful enough to change everything. At around 7 p.m., the air itself exploded. A blinding flash tore through the building, followed by 3 massive blasts, each stronger than the last. The Washburn Mill was completely destroyed. The roof was blown off, and the stone walls shattered into the sky. People as far as 10 miles away in St. Paul heard the explosion. Windows broke across the city, and burning debris rained down near the river. Inside, 14 workers were killed instantly. Nearby, 5 other mills caught fire, and 4 more people lost their lives as the flames spread across the district. Firefighters arrived within minutes, but there was little they could do. The fire fed on flour dust and wooden beams, burning far too hot to control. Rescuers pumped water directly from the river, but it wasn't enough to stop the blaze. By morning, the world's largest flour mill was gone, reduced to smoke and rubble. The mill's owner, Cadwallader C. Washburn, rebuilt from the ground up, this time with ventilation systems, dust collectors, and safety features. These improvements later became safety standards for mills around the world. The California Ranch Foods Incident. On December 1, 2020, workers at the California Ranch Foods plant in Vernon, California, began their regular morning shift inside the cold storage rooms of the large meat processing facility. The plant used liquid nitrogen to freeze meat quickly, a normal part of its daily work. But that morning, something went terribly wrong. Inside one of the cold rooms, a problem in the nitrogen system caused gas to leak into the air. The gas was colorless and had no smell, but it quietly pushed out all the oxygen, turning the room into a silent death trap. 2 longtime workers, 56-year-old Baldemar Gonzalez and 54-year-old Maria Osigas, were inside doing their usual tasks. Within seconds of breathing the gas, both collapsed. When they didn't return, their co-workers went to check and found them lying on the floor, not moving. They raised the alarm, but no one could go in. The air inside was already poisonous. Emergency teams arrived quickly, but even trained rescuers couldn't enter right away. Oxygen levels were almost zero. When the area was finally safe to enter, both workers were found dead. Investigators later discovered major safety failures. The room had no oxygen monitors, no warning alarms, and no ventilation to release trapped gas. There were also no emergency plans in place. California Ranch Foods pleaded guilty to several safety violations and was fined over $1 million, with more money ordered for safety improvements and community support. The company also paid $35 million in civil settlements to the victims' families, bringing total penalties to over $41 million.